Life has not suddenly become heavier because you got weaker. It feels heavier because your mind is carrying more invisible weight than it was designed to hold at one time. You wake up already behind, check a phone full of alerts, think about your bills, work, family, health, and unfinished responsibilities in a future that feels harder to predict than it used to. Before your feet even hit the floor, your brain has opened 20 emotional tabs and none of them have a close button. And that constant pressure creates a strange kind of exhaustion. You may still go to work, answer messages, take care of people, and complete basic tasks, but nah, everything feels like it requires more effort. The small problems, they feel personal, and one unexpected expense can ruin an entire week. Even relaxing can feel stressful because part of your brain keeps reminding you of what you should be doing instead. One major reason life feels so heavy lately is that modern stress rarely ends, but many of today's threats are ongoing. Rent does not stop being expensive, debt does not disappear overnight, job insecurity does not resolve after one conversation, and family conflict can last for years. News and social media deliver new emergencies every hour. Your nervous system keeps preparing for impact, but the impact never fully arrives and never completely leaves. And that keeps the body in a low grade survival mode where you are functioning, but not truly recovering. Another reason is decision overload. You make hundreds of choices every single day, and many of them without notice. And what should I eat? Should I answer this message now? Can I afford that? Am I doing enough? Should I stay at this job? Or what should I watch? Or what should I post? And every decision uses that mental energy. And when your brain is already tired, even simple choices can feel overwhelming. And this is why someone can handle a serious work problem and then feel overwhelmed deciding what to make for dinner. Dinner is simply the final decision placed on an overloaded system. And life also feels heavier because people are more connected than ever, yet many feel less supported. We have access to everyone, but access is not the same as closeness. And a person can receive 50 notifications and still feel like nobody truly sees them. The real support usually requires time, patience, presence, and honest conversations. And when emotional support becomes shallow or inconsistent, every responsibility feels more personal because you believe you have to carry it alone. Comparison adds even more weight. Social media constantly shows edited versions of other people's lives, better homes, better bodies, better relationships, better vacations, better careers, and better attitudes. And that can create the feeling that you are late, failing, or wasting your potential, and you stop measuring progress against where you started and begin measuring it against people's whose full circumstances you do not know. That kind of comparison turns ordinary struggle into evidence that something is wrong with you. Financial pressure is another major factor. When basic necessities cost more, people do not just lose money. No, they lose that mental space. And every purchase becomes a calculation. Every repair becomes a threat. And every grocery trip proves the same money buys less. And a financial stress follows people into their homes, relationships, their sleep, and their health. And it can make someone feel trapped because there's no easy way to rest when resting does not pay the bills. There's also a loss of clear boundaries. Work can follow you home through emails, group chats, scheduling apps, and constant availability. And entertainment follows you everywhere. News follows you everywhere, and other people's problems follow you everywhere. And now the world can reach you at any hour. And unless you deliberately create them limits, your mind never receives the messages that the day is over. And without that signal, the brain remains partially alert, which can make sleep less, restorative, and mornings feel like a continuation of yesterday instead of a fresh start. Unprocessed emotions make the wait even harder. Many people have experienced loss, disappointment, betrayal, burnout, fear, or major changes without having enough time to process them. They kept moving because they had to. They handled the next responsibility and promised to deal with their feelings later, but later keeps getting delayed. Emotions they are ignored do not disappear. They often show up as irritability, numbness, low motivation, even brain fog, tension, or that constant sense that something is wrong. And sometimes life feels heavy because you're carrying grief that was never given a name. And another problem is that productivity has become tied to self worth. People feel guilty when they rest because they believe they should always be improving, earning, creating, cleaning, exercising, learning, or building something. And rest becomes something you must deserve instead of something your body naturally needs. You're not simply behind on laundry. You feel irresponsible. You're not simply tired. You feel lazy. You're not simply uncertain. You feel unsuccessful. And this makes normal human limitations feel like character defects. So what can actually help? Start by reducing the number of things your brain is trying to hold. Write tasks down instead of mentally repeating them. Choose three priorities for the day instead of treating everything as equally urgent. And turn off unnecessary notifications. And create specific times for news and social media rather than consuming them constantly. And give yourself periods where nobody can instantly reach you. You also need honest recovery, not just a distraction. Scrolling for 2 hours may stop you from thinking, but it does not always help you recover. Recovery might look like sleep, movement, quiet time outside, prayer, journaling, therapy, laughter, music, or conversation where you do not have to pretend you are fine. It also helps to separate what is heavy from what is yours. You can care about people without solving every problem for them. You can stay informed without absorbing every tragedy. You can be responsible without being available every second. And boundaries are not proof that you do not care. They are how you protect enough energy to care without destroying yourself. And finally, stop expecting yourself to function like nothing has changed. The world has changed. Your responsibilities may have changed, and you may have changed too. And adjusting your pace is not giving up, and asking for help is not weakness, and needing more rest does not mean you are broken. Life feels heavy when too much has been carried for too long. Without enough support, recovery, or relief, the answer is not always to become tougher. And sometimes the answer is to put something down, close a few emotional tabs, and remember that being overwhelmed is not a personal failure. It's a signal that your mind and body need a different way forward. So thanks for watching today's video. If you found value in today's video, please subscribe. I'd highly appreciate it. We're looking to build this channel, and without you, we just can't do that. I hope you have a good day and a great weekend. Have a good one. Bye bye.